Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of my quest to be Siegmier. In this episode we go and attempt to conquer the depths. Not Blighttown. Definitely not Blighttown, just the depths. Wouldn't go that far. Yeah, but here you see, just got a small item here. I believe it's souls, yep. If you don't go back to Earth and kill that guy, he'll run up behind you and can cause trouble later. Then, you just got more of these hollow, I don't want to call them hollow soldiers, because they're not soldiers, but I guess more of these hollows. Got your frickin' meat grinder down there. Your, what's it called? Butcher. Who's actually a female. If you, I believe it's Epic Name Bro, did a video on it a while ago, and those butchers are actually females, according to a developer. So that's quite interesting. Got more of these frickin' dogs. I hate the dogs. I absolutely hate them. Like, be they in Dark Souls, in Skyrim, and fucking Kingdoms of Amalur. I hate fighting dogs. They're always fast, they always dodge, they're always just annoying. You see here, you got the frickin' dog attacking me while I'm trying to fight the butcher. Well, I can't do both at once, It's always easier to fight one-on-one rather than one-on-two or one-on-5. 1-on-5 and you're pretty much screwed. You're better at just using a bow or magic to take them on from the distance. So, I died there. I was like, oh man. It's a pain. Gotta make the run back there. Takes me on down through the chapel, church, back into Firelink, and then through the little sewer section. I always like stabbing that guy in the back. It makes me feel good. Which, yeah, that's weird. But, hey, what else can you say? Oh yeah, another reason why I typically do not have my microphone on and I don't commentate live is because even if my roommate's not here, oftentimes there's music playing, be it that I'm playing the music, my neighbor's playing the music, the guy on the floor above is playing the music. There's usually music playing, and I don't feel that's necessarily professional. I don't feel that's appropriate to have in the background. And my apologies, I just got a text. I'll be right back. My apologies about that. It was just a picture my mom sent me of my dog sunbathing on our porch. He was just laying right on the wooden porch, not on the blankets next to him, not on a chair, just straight on the wood porch. It must be nice out there. Here it's about 40, which it's nice, don't get me wrong, compared with, well, the winter weather. It's definitely nice out. But, yeah, so that's what that was. My apologies again. I'll probably try, I can't guarantee I'm gonna edit that out. I'll probably forget, so, once more, my apologies. And I believe I wanted to see, I don't know what I was doing there. And once more, if this frame issue happens in the YouTube videos, I've actually got both of them uploading right now, so I can't, stop to check. But my apologies. It didn't do that while I was playing. I had no idea it was doing that, and I'm not sure what's causing it. Once again, I'm using Shadowplay to record, so here, I want to show you can leap over that banister and get a free attack on him. It kinda screws you over too if you haven't killed that dog. That dog does not respawn. The other one does. So you gotta be careful if you do that. Like right now I've got the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring on. So I didn't want the others to hear me while I was there. But unfortunately, you know, that one hollow did, because he followed me from that back corner of the stairs. And, you know, that's why I said earlier you should kill them. Here with these dogs, you want to be sure you're using a horizontally swinging weapon, or even better, a thrusting weapon. Because if you try to swing a vertical weapon, it'll hit the ceiling. And with the horizontal ones, they'll more than likely hit the wall, or the pillars, or right there. I had no idea he was behind me. Had I known, I probably still would have died. Let's face it. But yeah, so making my third run in there. Now I've got the large ember, so I can upgrade to plus. I can upgrade past plus 10, and I believe I do. I'm not sure if it's this episode or the next, with both the Zweihander and the sorry, I can upgrade to plus 10. Upgrade past plus 5. Plus 10 to plus 15 requires the very large ember. The epic ember. But I digress. Making this run back down. It's really something that's very common in Dark Souls. You die, and you gotta make it back there. It can get a bit monotonous, almost feel grindy at times. But it's also good, because then you learn more fully from your mistakes, and you learn about the enemies and their moves, and you know, just various things of that nature. And it's very interesting. I used to never run past any enemies, but now I say screw it. I don't care, and oftentimes when I do that, I just jump. I'm trying to say is usually when I run past enemies, I die. And that's because I can't, I screw up. Like, in running past them, I'll take more damage than I would if I were to just fight them and defeat them. And that, you know, it hinders my progress. It effectively hurts, you know? Know what I'm saying? Sorry, that's something. I was watching an interview by, my apologies, hit my mic again. I was watching an interview by Eminem, and he would not stop saying, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. It was just hilarious. So I looked at, like, Dr. Dre, and he goes, you know what I'm saying. I looked at 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying. I looked at Obi Trice, you know what I'm saying. Like, and I've never heard someone overuse that phrase. And it's just like, what? I mean, maybe I do it and I don't realize it. I tried to not be repetitive in what I'm saying. But obviously that's never, ever the case. And now while I'm running back, I kind of want to talk a little bit about Battlefield 4. I know this is Dark Souls, and I should be talking about Dark Souls, but while Battlefield 4 is one of my favorite games out right now, Dark Souls is obviously my favorite, but, you know, you can only... I don't know why you'd want to see someone run through it multiple times. Which is kind of why I did this one, where it's very themed. It's the quest for Siegmier. I'm going to become him. I'm going to earn that armor and the sword. And well, I already have the sword. I'm just being stupid at the moment in this video and not wielding it. But it's just... how do I articulate this properly? With Battlefield 4, I've been rather upset with it, and I'm not just talking about how it's got a crappy netcode and hit registrations off and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I'm upset in terms of the maps. I feel like with Rush in particular. In Battlefield 3, I loved Rush. In Bad Company 2, I loved Rush. Like, since they introduced it, I have greatly enjoyed it. Up until this point where I just feel it's useless. I feel like it's not... it doesn't fit in the game. And I played Conquest the most. That's always been a game mode I've loved, because I've been in the game since I was playing it. Like, I started playing the Battlefield series in Battlefield 2, and it was essentially only Conquest. There you see we get Laurentius of the Great Swamp, and right there I wanted to, I usually, like, with my roommate here, I usually kill them. But in this case, I decided not to, because, well, he's a pyromancer. Anyone can use the pyromancy flame. It doesn't cost levels. It still costs souls, which in a way is like leveling, except your levels don't get more expensive in anything other than that. Which is kind of the same with, like, upgrading your equipment. It costs more each time, but only for that only for that item. Here we've got the giant rat, and of course the spider shield. And the giant rat's pretty easy in general. You can just do a plunging attack on it, and if that doesn't kill it, then just a couple more swipes, you can cheap out on it in the doorway. However, it does hit hard. And when I mean hard, I'm saying, like, it can seriously hurt. It can kill you, stun lock you pretty quickly. So you just want to be careful. Here I believe I'm running back to kill the channeler, because he is a big jerk. Trying to keep it a bit family friendly. And he will, while you're fighting, excuse me, man, I'm tired today. While you're fighting the boss in this area, the gaping dragon, the channeler will sit up there and he will shoot at you, which isn't too bad, but he will also buff the gaping dragon, and then you're in trouble. Then you really have to be careful to not get hit. Here I'm at low health, trying to dodge, trying to not get hit by the channeler's magic bolts. I'm like, oh crap, don't want to die yet. Just wait till I kill the channeler. And there. I'm very proud of that dodge. Not that one. That dodge was shit, because I didn't dodge. Up here to the left, you want to be careful. There's two rats that hop out of the barrel. Or boxes, I guess. Those aren't barrels. and they can, hurt you. These next two boxes are fine, but there's a large titanite shard around the corner. I believe I just roll into the box to kind of show, hey, there's nothing in here. And that large titanite shard's good, because it means those are less slugs we have to farm when we do reach Blighttown. And while doing this run, I sort of felt like I should go through Blighttown the regular way, just to kind of show people. But at the same time, it's just so much easier not to. Like, it's so much more productive and so much easier to just not. Alright, right here. You ready? Take your bets. Who thinks I'm gonna? Nope. And fail. That was bad on my part. I should have been better. I've let you down. Now, question is, will I get cursed? For the small amount of you that don't know, curse halves your HP permanently until you get it cured, which it's a big issue. I've been cursed maybe twice. I know at least once for sure. When I was first playing through the game, I believe I was cursed. Not here, actually, in the Great Hollow. I've never been cursed down in the depths up until this point. Ooh. Because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want you to go, well, he's never been cursed, so clearly won't get cursed here. Well, just have to watch and see. You'll have to take your bets. Here I'm like, isn't there a rat that's supposed to be in a box? But I believe that is further behind us at this point. And I die. And I also did not use the bonfire in the depths. Big mistake. Big mistake. Because now I've got to make that run again. Alright, here I think I'm just going, why? I hate this. But it was my fault. I should have killed Night Lautrec a while ago. Because then I wouldn't have to deal with running from the entrance of Zen's Fortress. I could just run from Firelink, and that shaves off some time. Sure, I might not get a Titanite shard or a long sword here or there, but who needs that? Honestly, I don't. It's just something that's time consuming, and it's a very minimal amount of souls gained by killing them. Like, if I wanted to go soul farming, I'd go kill the Dark Wraiths, because then I would not only be getting souls, I would also be getting Titanite chunks. I almost wanted to say large Titanite chunks, but there's no such thing as a large Titanite chunk. There's such a thing as Titanite slab, which they will also drop, however, that is even more rare. And right here, I got those stupid priests after me. And I believe my roommate's going like, go after them, go kill them. And it just, it's a bad idea. And anytime I ever listen to him in any game that I'm playing, I regret it. So I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna, nope. Like, I'll have it where I'm playing around a battlefield and he'll be like, oh, go knife that guy. So then I'm like, okay, fine. I go to try and knife him, nope, I get shot. And he's like, oh, you're so bad. I'm like, if I just shot this stupid guy, then I could have moved on, not gotten killed by the sniper up on the hill. It's a pain having a backseat gamer. Don't get me wrong, I greatly enjoy my roommate, Rob. he's... I would willingly room with him again next year. Unfortunately, he's rooming with a bunch of his friends instead. They're renting a house, but I'm staying in the dorms. I've got another roommate, like another random roommate. Well, semi-random. Our school asks us a bunch of questions that it can kind of fit us properly. So, like, one thing that I've got on there is I do not smoke and I will not room with a smoker. I just don't want that. And, so, you know, our school makes sure to not put us with a smoker, you know. That being said, there are smokers on this floor. They cannot smoke inside the building. That's completely against the rules. They can get kicked out. I know at one point earlier in the year someone was, and our RAs had a huge fit about it. Which, you know, they should. Those people should not have been smoking. It's against the rules. It's inconsiderate to those in the rooms adjacent. It's not nice. It's rude. It's just straight up rude. So, and then I've also got this deck of cards here that I completely forgot that I had. And it's all on, like, internet security and safety. And, like, this one here says, it's an 8 of diamonds, and it says spyware. Malicious software that collects information on a person's internet use, passwords, etc. And it's got malware and mobile devices and information security, social media for our school, and Trojan horse. You know, it's just got all these random facts, and I've never bothered to open it and actually look at it until, like, this morning. The cards, they're decent cards. I mean, they're not something you would see at a casino, because, well, who'd want to be gambling with cards talking to you about scams and internet stuff? But I figured they'd just be crap. And as I said, they're not the best cards I've ever played with, but they're not the worst. They're not 20 years old, beaten up, and missing several cards. Lord knows I've got enough of those. God. Right here, I believe I'm just repairing my equipment, trying to make sure that nothing breaks on me. I failed there, completely missed the frickin' hollow. It's just, bad, Nick, bad. Here, I'm gonna go pick up the Great Axe, I believe it is. I mean, I know it's a Great Axe, but I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called. Yeah, Great Axe. At first I almost said the Great Club, but we get that later down in Blighttown. Not sure if I recorded that part or not, but, you know, right there, back down through the ladder well. Oh yeah, and when I was going down the side passage, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm going to become human so that I can go fight Kirk. When I was going down that, in the chamber where you fight the giant rat, I went and slid down that slanted area. When you do that, you want to be all the way to the left, otherwise you drop into a bunch of the, what you call them, the giant rats. Or not the giant rats, the dudes who can, my apologies, the basilisks, that's what they're called. You drop into a bunch of them, and that can get you cursed pretty quick. So you just want to be careful there. Here, just stunned. Stunned and dead. That didn't last long. Those rats there can give me some trouble when I come at them from behind. But, I don't know, maybe you don't have trouble. I do. I've got a lot of trouble when it comes to that. And you'll have to excuse me, my throat's getting a bit dry. I'm just gonna take a quick sip of water. Once again, my apologies. I don't talk very often. I shouldn't say that I don't talk very often. I don't talk for extended periods of time very often, and I've always got a drink with me. It's usually like Diet Pepsi, just because that's all my school serves. However, when I'm home, I'll drink Diet Coke too. It's the same thing to me. I don't care if you're a Coke fan or a Pepsi fan. To me, it's the same. It doesn't matter. I can tell the difference, but I don't prefer one over the other. Oh yeah, and these slugs, or slimes, or whatever you want to call them, they can drop green titanite shards. It's not a very effective way to farm the green titanite shards, so I don't recommend it. Right there, I was just trying to see if I could get the drop and, get lucky. But now I need to run back up there, make myself human again, so that I can continue to try to kill whatchamacallit, Kirk, the invader here. Kirk, or is it Kurt? I think it's Kirk. I could be wrong on that. I've got too many friends named Kirk. Kurt. Yeah, I think his name's Kirk. Or am I thinking of Commander Kirk from Star Trek? God. Now I'm just gonna get in trouble. I hope my brother doesn't watch this. He'll shoot me. Although, what does he know? He doesn't watch... Never mind. He wouldn't shoot me. My parents would shoot me. They watch Star Trek. Yeah. They're big Star Trek fans. So, yeah. I'm trying to make my way down to the Gaping Dragon. But, with Kirk, you can only get him before you kill the boss. If you kill the boss and then try to go after him, it's not gonna work. It doesn't work. You can't. Like, it's as simple as that. And I find an easy way to trigger him is to run past him, and here I realize that even though I went to the bonfire, I never made myself human. Good job, Nick. You'll have to excuse me for a second. Okay, hey guys, I'm back. Just had to check on a couple things there. My apologies once again. And we make our run back to the bonfire for was it like a third time now? To remember to reverse following this time? Become human? Actually go get Kirk? Or Kurt? We'll never know until we summon him and kill him. And I was thinking about it, and I do get invaded at one point. I believe it's in Zen's fortress by some guy who just completely obliterates me using like full giants or something like that. And I'm not sure if I've recorded it. If so, I will include it. If not, just know that there are douchebags out there. Like, even with... I guess they're probably out there in force that now that Dark Souls 2 will be coming pretty shortly. In 6 days, actually. As of recording this commentary. So, that's exciting. I'm very hyped for it. Although I have heard that the graphics are not as good as they said they were going to be. Here we've got Kirk. So it was Kirk, the space explorer, going to lands that no other have ventured to. I can't remember the exact line, and someone's gonna get mad at me. And right here, I'm like so freaking close to death. I'm just like, okay, get back up, roll around the corner, heal, and shield back up. With Kirk, he's very interesting in terms of he tries to use his rolling damage all the time, but it doesn't really work too well. Like, it's a good passive ability type of thing, but it's not like something that you can rely on to be the majority of your damage. And that's one of my big criticisms with the Kirk NPC invader. Of course, you've also got like fucking Paladin Leroy, who just I usually avoid summoning him. I avoid killing him just because he's useless and his equipment's not very good. Here I'm checking get the heavy crossbow. It's always something nice to utilize. Right there would be Solaire's summon sign and Night Lawtrex. I believe Night Lawtrex would be behind the pillar, Solaire's would be in front of it. But as I said, I'm not looking to go and summon friends to help me kill the boss. It's not something I find useful. If anything, it hurts me more often than it helps. I mean, sure, you could say, well, Gargoyles fight, one Gargoyle can focus on you, the other can focus on Solaire, so it's easier. Well, it also doubles their HP. I find if you can burst down the first Gargoyle before the second one gets summoned, you're 1,000 times better off. It's just way easier. Now, with the Gaping Dragon, one thing you want to watch out for is that tail. You generally want to circle around him and hit him in the butt. It's a good idea for most bosses. And once you cut off the Gaping Dragon's tail like I did, it becomes significantly less dangerous. Just because he doesn't have that enormous tail, he can hit his rear range damage. Or rear range. Yeah, his rear range is severely cut. It's basically gone. You know, you have to be sitting right up there to get hit. And he's got such a large held for that animation that you can. My apologies, that was a music video. A video that started playing in the background. I'm hoping my microphone did not pick that up. But what was I talking about? Oh, he has such. The Gaping Dragon has such a large tail for that move that it's hard to get hit by it. Right there, his stuff. Just, I'm not doing too hot. I'd also like to say that it's been a long time since I played Dark Souls. So, I am rusty, I'm making mistakes I shouldn't be making. I'm making mistakes that I should hopefully try to fix before Dark Souls 2 comes out in 6 days. As I stated before, I'm also going to be recording and uploading that. I might try to include commentary on that, I don't know. It just depends on what's going on at the time. I also find that commentating live severely hinders the gameplay, because that's a portion of your mind trying to focus on talking and talking, and it's lot easier if you're, like, I know before I even tried commentating while playing a game, I went and I would just kind of think in my head and be like, oh, well, I can just talk off the top of my head and that will work. But it's definitely more difficult than it seems. And to play well and do that. Now, I know I actually even find that it's more difficult to commentate after the fact than during it, because while you're playing it, you can commentate on what's happening, and you can be like, oh man, you watch out, oh my, you know, and while as afterwards, you kind of have to talk passively about what's going on, and how you just bought the bottomless box from this wonderful merchant who will eventually move to Firelink Shrine, whose name I cannot remember for the life of me. Just because I can't remember. So, making my way back up to Firelink Shrine, I'm going to head through Blighttown the back way, just because it's easier and it's faster in the long run, just because you aren't gonna get poisoned and die a billion times on your way there. You will eventually get poisoned, and that's just something that happens. You can't do anything about that necessarily, so it is what it is. I know there are people out there that hate that saying. I'm whatever on it. I mean, what happens, you know, like, you can't stop it from happening. You might be able to put in preventions on certain things to hinder its progress, its occurrence, but if it's going to happen, generally you can't stop it. Which actually makes me think about, in the media, not necessarily recently, but in the past, there's been a lot of talk about how video games can be linked to these school shootings and these mass murders, and like, oh my gosh, this one guy played Call of Duty, they went and shot up a school. He was training in Call of Duty, or, you know, you hear stuff like that, and to people who are completely uneducated on the subject, who've never actually played the games themselves, who just hear this and are like, yes, that's completely right. They're the ones who push for, like, banning video games, or putting more restrictions on them and stuff like that. And I see the same thing with, like, guns and with all sorts of these things. And I was thinking the other day, I'm like, right, well, people are saying, well, there's a correlation between these school shootings and murderers, and mass murders, you know. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, well, there's also a correlation between mass murderers and the use of spoons. I think that spoons are now causing us to kill great amounts of people. You know, like, it's something that is, but it's not the cause. I think I personally can say with a large amount of certainty that video games are not the cause of these school shootings, of these murderers and rapists and these criminal activities. If anything, it's gangster rap and jazz, and, you know, the media goes through these phases of what these crimes to occur. And
Right,
I think
yeah,
when you go down to it, it's
oh,
a
yeah.
person who
I think you have a knack
has
for it. All
some
you need, and I'll be pleased to help you.
be it a social, a physical,
Yeah,
a
wonderful. Sure that they'll be of some
mental,
use, some assistance. Here,
you know, there's something
a flame
that
from the. Right, let's get started.
that that will severely affect them. And I think while you can say, well, this most recent, like, I know my mom sat me down after a school shooting and was like, look, they found that
Goodbye then. Come back.
the guy who did this played video games and he was training on them. And I looked at her and I'm like, Mom, you have no authority on this subject. Like, I didn't say that to her, but it's just sitting here thinking about it now. She's someone who's never played a video game other than, like, a point-and-click online Harry Potter one, because she's obsessed with Harry Potter. It's something where she can't, I do not think she has the authority, the ability to talk about that, and to say convincingly, like, I want you to stop playing video games or you'll turn into this mass murder. Because, I mean, even if you look at, like, for example, Call of Duty sales, they sold, like, 7 million or billion. You know, it's a very large number. If that's one out of the 7 billion, like, there's no correlation. There's... You can't say that it's something, you really can't say. You can't say anything about it as far as that's concerned. And here, I decide to try and kill one of the priests. He kills me. I thought I was kind of lucky there to only get one to follow me, but obviously it didn't turn out too well. And lucky me, I'm back in the depths. Gonna make the run again. That's sort of why I'm making these videos rather long, is I don't necessarily want to cut out too much. I know later on I do start to just cut stuff out, because it gets very monotonous, especially when it comes to fighting Ornstein and Smo. They're a boss fight that I still have trouble with, especially when I'm using a weapon I'm not accustomed to. Like, around the time I was recording this, I was also playing through with another character using just a longsword, and I was doing remarkably well. I was having, like, no issues with them at all. A sec, I just need to check something. My apologies, I realized that my microphone was actually in the up position, meaning that it was up along my headset, away, like, very far away from my mouth. So the narration is going to sound a little distant, a little quieter than it should. Hopefully I have remedied that. In editing, I'm going to try to boost the volume of the third round of narration, I guess that is, which it's very hard to talk for. I believe this episode's going to be around an hour, a little over, maybe a little under an hour. So yeah, around an hour long. And for talking for like 10-15 minutes, that's not really an issue. But for talking for an hour, your throat gets sore. And, like, even with a bottle of water or a can of pop, it's not easy. It also does not help that I have ADHD, so I'm just sitting here fiddling with stuff while I'm talking. Which, you know, that's rather dangerous. I'm waiting until I cut myself on a knife or a pair of scissors or a pencil. And then I pick up my iPod, and while I'm talking, I'll just start entering my passcode. Then I'll go to YouTube, start looking, see if I can see something that I want to watch later. And it's all very, very risky business. But I was watching Bruce Willikers, Old Man Willikers, Pokemon Rob. He's got a lot of names on the interwebs. He's been posting this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, and I've just been dying with it. Like, it's been so funny. He's making up his own story over top of the Pokemon one. So, like, Pikachu is a pizza fanatic, and that's all he wants. Right here, I'm trying to get both of the clerics to follow me so that I can make my way up the elevator and rest at the bonfire so that I can move on in the game. That way I don't have to keep making as long of a run to reach Blighttown. Assuming I die on the way down. Which, let's face it, that's quite likely. Knowing me, yeah. And I have Ryan out of gum and ideas, about what to talk about. So, maybe I'll discuss a little bit, more on my favorite weapons in Dark Souls. I generally love the longsword just because it has a nice array of movesets. It's fast. It's not, it's not like the bandit's knife, but it's not a great axe either, where it's incredibly slow. It's something that's a good mid-range. It's not too heavy. It's something that I use pretty much throughout the entire game on most runs. I mentioned earlier that I used the Uchi Katana with a Pyromancer on my first run through the game. My first run through the game, when I beat it, I was about level 90. Which, at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a low level, it's wonderful. But I've never actually done a Soul Level 1 playthrough, just because, I don't know, it's not interesting to me. Whereas, like, a Soul Level 10 playthrough I have done, where I don't necessarily need to level up, but, just getting some more equipment, weight, or getting a strength here or there so that I can use the weapon I want to use is nice. Or dexterity. And recently, I actually tried to do a bow build playthrough. It did not last long. I think I got up to Ornstein and Smo and then quit. And one thing I really do want to say is dying is not losing. It's quitting that's losing. So in quitting, I would say that I have lost in that bow playthrough. Just because now I'm not going to go back to it. That's something that I have a hard time doing, is if I stop playing a game, if I stop doing something, I have a hard time picking up where I left off. I find it's much easier just to start again from the beginning, which I think also contributes to why I've got the first, like, half of the game down packed. Like, I know it by heart. I know where every enemy is. But then you reach the second half of the game, and I'm a little iffy. And then, we've got the new content area, and I don't know what is going on. I mean, I don't. It's It's completely new to me. Excuse me, just took a sip of water. Also, you'll hear me say pop a lot, as opposed to, I know people on the East Coast call it soda. However, I come from the Midwest, and there we call it pop or Coke. And because Coke has a drug that's also named Coke, I prefer to call it pop. That way I'm not like, yeah, I'm drinking Coke. Just sprinkled in some water, and now I'm drinking it. No, it's pop. And then I just don't like the other word, the one I'm not going to mention. Oh boy. No. I really don't know what to talk about now. Making my run back into Blighttown. This is the second time I've gone down this path. Or maybe even the third time? I'm trying to think if I went and picked up the... Yeah, it would have been my third time through. So I survived. Yeah, because I died rolling onto that. Which was stupid. I should not have died there. And that was just a... It was a rookie mistake. Now, down here in Blighttown, we have the wonderful man-eater Mildred to keep us company once we go human. So, my apologies, I need to respond to this. That is my mom. She just wanted to know if we could Skype at 6. I used to talk to her like every day, but it's died down to like once a week. And then, you know, I generally will Skype while my parents are eating, and they can brag about how they're having good food and pizza while I'm having fried chicken and French fries and pizza that's been just completely butchered, like it's cardboard with cheese on top.